Faik Al-Amdi, and you are coming from the Department of Information Technology, and you will talk about, are computer science teachers ready to adopt change on their educational epistemologies? So the floor is yours.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm glad to be the first presenter here, and I hope to see that's maybe different experience since that study has been discussed with my home country, and I really interesting and get positive experience when I was a member in that course. Are computer science teachers ready to adapt change on their educational epistemology? It is a case study. First of all, originally came from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I has a chance to study PhD program. I think it is a good opportunity to compare between the different education system there, and what made me to choose that topic. Actually, maybe some of you heard about the new version of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia 2030, and the main goal for this plan is to be change the dependent of oil to another things else. And one of the direction, if we could make that actually the education itself. Also, the first poster when I came here and realized there is a few female students in computer science department, and I participated in this conference, encourage women to study computer science. In 2014, 59% of students enrolled in the computer science studies in the government university in Saudi Arabia were women, and one cause or one things influence student to enrollment in the study computer science was the teacher influence in high schools. That also made me to think about and go to investigate this issue. If we need to achieve the plan of Saudi vision, we have to dealing with different aspects. One of them, education system. From that, what is the epistemology? Research in personal epistemology beliefs about knowledge. It is beliefs about knowledge, everything including knowledge. It was handled by Berry in 1970 on Harvard University. Especially Taylor and Bajon declared the educational epistemology in computing education should be evaluated by reflecting the degree to which they depend on particular individual knowledge of computer science out of subjectivity and objectivity. I'm focusing here on beliefs about teaching. When sometimes teachers have to choose to change their teaching method. I'm gonna to use the computer right now to teach my student. Why I'm gonna to change my rule from the teacher-centric to student-centric. That's what I'm looking for. The aim of this research, computer science teachers fuse on changing on educational belief and practices in the schools in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The research question was how and why teachers adapt educational beliefs and practices in their teaching computer science. The method was semi-structured interview and also document Saudi teacher competence standard. I'm going to explain more about it. And I used also two analysis methods, a content analysis, inductive and deductive categories, and also thematical coding analysis with the documents. This is the Saudi teachers competence standard. It is a new standard started from 2016, and it is starting also with the new version of Saudi Arabia. The government want to increase teacher ability and also push teacher to transfer from the teacher-centric to student-centric. And there is three main categories: professional teaching and professional knowledge and professional practice. The mainly things I was asking the participate how this standard influenced them to change their belief, and if it is the standard, it compare between the latest result in that area or not. Also, as a framework, I used a reasoned action approach. That approach maybe give us answer how student will quit smoking or change their belief or the behavior to do something. I use that as a framework to interrupt the results. The participant, the computer science teachers, I contact the computer science teachers and computer science teacher supervisor, also from Twitter and Telegram, especially for account from the computer science teachers. Why I choose that method? Because it is popular in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I send a request to ask computer science teachers if they want to have participated in this study. Finally, I got 13 volunteers who accept that invitation and interviewed. I use WhatsApp application because since I am doing my research here and my participant in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I need to go deep with the beliefs, I think this is the appropriate method. As you see here, those the demograph for the participate from teacher 1 to teacher 13 in the different cities in the kingdom, although also in the different level of the school. The computer science taught in intermediate and high school. And you can see also the time response. It compared between 6 days and 2 days. I divided the research question to 9 questions, and I started to send question by question and wait for clarification or responses and send again. The total, I think, it's 2 days. Two of them was preferred to record their voice rather than text it, and I transcribed all of them. As you see, it was conjugated by Arabic language, since the teacher is not familiar with English, and translated to the English to be more open with discussion from my group research here and supervisor too. And also I asked one of my friend who is a teacher, who is English teacher, to confirm my translation. This is the final one, what we work with my research group and my supervisor. I use the content analysis in 2 different areas. First of all, from the previous study to try to identify what the reason behind the teacher to adapt changing belief in their teaching. And I found personal pedagogy, student feedback, peer learning, self-directed learning, and curriculum. And in this study, you can see 9 from 13 of teachers conjugate themselves as constructivism, and 4 was traditional method. The student feedback, 7 of them agreed. The peer learning, 9 of them agreed about these factors, and 11 was agreed also in self-directed learning, and 5 in curriculum. You can see here also I made several tables where I put all the variable here and the definition and the value. I divided the value from positive change, negative change, or not change at all. And I add also anchor samples and encoding rules. to determine how many participants was agreed in that factors or not. Analyzing the document, also I used the thematical coding analysis from the government document, which is Saudi Teacher Competence Standard, to looking for what the main categories about the standard and how it is we can connect it with the interview answers. We found 5 main categories, which is Saudian values, preference partner, and teachers' skills, quality of teaching, and professional development. Using this categorize and the content analysis from the interview, as you see, I try to interrupt the data and come up with those results. The Ministry of Education wants teachers to scale up their efforts toward achieving the new professionalism requirement for education. The paper addresses the imperfect connection between the educational epistemology that teacher decided to change and how it is presented in the standard itself. The standard expresses teachers' need to involve in the training program, accept supporting program, and consist to resources to develop student-centric goals. I think there is not clear between the standard itself and educational epistemology that computer science teachers experienced. The recommendation from this paper is the research shows that computer science teachers have been influenced to adapt changes in educational epistemology in teaching computer science by personal pedagogical curriculum, self-directed learning, peer learning, and the students' feedback. The findings show that the standard should provide instructive for computer science teachers to keep changing beliefs in teaching computer science. The standard should offer supporting official resources to computer science teachers to help them changing belief in teaching computer science. The outcome also raise awareness about the gap that exists in implementation standard and inform the policymakers on how to bridge the gap. That's what I found and what the recommendation, and I'm working to submit that paper. I hope it will get published. Thank you for your listening, and if you have any comment or question, you are more welcome.
Yeah, please. Thomas?
Thank you for an excellent presentation. I had one quick question, and then I had some other questions. But the quick one is intermediate level and high level. What age groups are we talking about?
The intermediate group, it starts from key 6 to key 9, and from key 10 to key 12 for the high school.
And the age group would be, how old are the students?
Starting from, I think, 13 to 15 and 16 to 18.
Okay, thank you. And then I wanted to, under the content analysis that you've been using, I was interested in the categories. Where do they come from? You say that it comes from the materials itself. Is that all from the materials, or what did you come in with when you developed the codes and developed these categories that you found in the materials?
Actually, I used the deductive categories from the content analysis from the previous study, looking for 15 or 12 research in that area, and I found those 5 categories were more important for the teacher to achieve their belief. And I use it as a basic, and looking for what the interview said behind the standard itself.
So did you find anything that didn't fit with previous categories?
From this
in the materials, that because now so you're coming in with previous research with
Yes.
previous categories. You find something in the responses from the teachers that didn't fit with the previous category.
What I found actually, they are aware of the standard, and they thought the standard it will be thread or maybe as a regulation to push them to have to change their belief. That's the main things I found it. But all of them, maybe if I can say, like to change their behavior informally, not formally or by standard itself.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Robin?
Oh yeah, so I was just thinking about the first, I think it was the first slide or something, when you mentioned 59% of women participating in CS education. So the definition of computer science education, is that the programs or course, yes, like if you take course in computer science, is that included as well in that?
No, just for the computer science college or engineering computer science.
So it's programs with like
Yeah, the whole programs.
Okay. Yeah, Miriam?
Yes, I also think it was a very interesting presentation. I wonder, because you mentioned that you departed from the recent action approach, and then when you talk about the categories, I think, if I got it right, you talked about the two first categories, the behavioral and normative. Did they talk anything about the perceived behavioral control category, whether they think they can control the behavior or not?
I mainly take about that point in the discussion part when I compare between what I found in the interview's answers and what the standard itself said. And I try to explain based on that approach how the computer science teacher behave toward that category, for example, student feedback. Maybe if you could see the discussion part, you will be know about it.
Someone else? No? Yeah?
I
Please.
would like to ask you about beliefs. I mean, if you have a teacher with a specific belief, how would it be if he changes beliefs? Could you see it in your study?
Yeah, I think what I found in my study, since the belief is the core and combined with the different things and different culture, I think it is difficult to change it by establishing standard itself or reward, for example, or license. But the main things, what I found in my data, is they are influencing by their peers. If they see another colleague who is in the same degree, in the same schools, teaching in the same subject, and using a good materials or method to teaching computer science without any botch, I think that's the most effective way to change their belief. That's according to what I saw in my data.
Okay, we have more time. Are there any questions? Yeah, Oscar.
I'm interested in the WhatsApp as a method. How come you use WhatsApp?
Yeah, why I choose WhatsApp actually because it's the top in the country in the social media, especially in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and it is easy and appropriate way to contact the computer science teachers. When I ask them if you are available for a certain time to answer that question as interview, and they were accepted that one, and I started maybe I took 4 to 5 weeks to contact all of them and inform them. There were more than 13, but only the 13 one who were completed the whole questions. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question more of curiosity. You have stayed now in Sweden for some years,
Yes.
and if you compare the Swedish situation and computer science teachers in Sweden and the standards that we have got. Do you have any idea of differences or similarities?
Actually, I have planned to maybe when I finish that paper and another one, if I could compare between the Saudian system and the Swedish system in computing. As you know, the Swedish introduced the programming in the primary school nowadays, and also there is a several program to prepare teacher to change from the subject to subject to teach computing. That's the main thing is different, because in our country, if you being computer science teachers, you have to be graduated from the computer science college. That's the main difference. But since it is the standard, it is new itself, and also there is several program has been established to training the teachers. It could be a good idea to compare between the training program from two perspectives.
Yeah, because that's what we call comparative didactics, or the theory of teaching and learning. And I think that would be very, very interesting. We have a colleague here who presented some weeks ago about her research, and it was also about computer science, bringing it into the Swedish schools. And it's within the mathematical area, and more especially in the algebraic area with algebra. So we will see what will happen here in Sweden. So it will be very, very interesting if you could do this kind of comparison.
That's right.
Yeah?
I hope.
Do we have any other questions? No. So, once again, very much thank you. So now we will go on with Elias Eiler.